Right guys, so today we're going to be looking at the importance of earthworms in the soil. So what are the optimum conditions our soil needs to have to increase our earthworm population or to encourage more earthworms to reproduce in our soils? So what our soils need to be, they need to be moist, they need to be well drained soils. So a prime example of soils like that would be a sandy soil, okay, a well drained soil, okay. And if they're well drained, that means that they're going to be well aerated, okay. So sandy soils are going to be very optimal for earthworm population. Or even we could try and hopefully expect that our soils might flocculate, okay. So clay particles could flocculate together, creating larger soil particles and ultimately larger pore spaces. Having been rich in organic matter, okay, so that means high levels of humus. I'll just write high humus, and that means good fertility, okay. So we want very fertile soils. We'll have high earthworm population. We want a pH range of 6 to 8. So just like when we're absorbing our nutrients in our fertilizer, we need our pH range to be right. Earthworms won't live in very acidic soils, so the likes of peat soils and podzol's earthworm population are going to be very low in comparison to brown earth soils where earthworm population are going to be very high. Warm soil conditions above 12 degrees, that again is going to contribute to being well aerated. So if there's more air spaces, that means more air can fill in around the soil particles and heat up quicker. And the last point then is going to be minimum tilled soils, okay. So soils that aren't going to be ploughed and harrowed every single year. So soils that would be prominent maybe for tillage farmers might have low earthworm populations, whereas soils from an organic farm that won't be reseeding every few years, that won't be spraying much herbicides and fungicides and pesticides, will have higher earthworm populations in their soil. So why do we want earthworms in our soil? Okay, so the reason why we want our earthworms in our soil is to convert organic matter into humus, which improves the soil fertility, as we mentioned earlier. We want to improve our soil structure through burrowing and creating channels that improve and aid aeration and drainage, okay. So improving our soil structure, the arrangement of our particles, the arrangements of our sand, silt and clay, and hopefully you might remember the term a loam soil, okay. So referring to soils of equal amounts of sand, silt and clay, but that's more to do with soil texture, but structure, the arrangement of our soil particles. Moving on from that, earthworms are responsible for mixing layers of soil and bringing organic matter to deeper levels through burrowing, okay. So bringing nutrients from the A horizon up the top, that's very fertile, known as our topsoil, and bringing those nutrients down into less fertile horizons of soil, such as the B horizon, or sometimes known as the subsoil. Earthworms are going to reduce soil compaction. So farming is very intensive there the last few years with heavy machinery, high stocking rates, going to cause a lot of soil compaction. So reducing this soil compaction is definitely going to help earthworm population. And lastly, earthworm casts created by excretion are high in nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium due to the breakdown of organic and mineral matter by the earthworm system. Okay, so this is going to lead to higher nutrients level in the soil. Worm casts provide many beneficial bacteria to the soil. Okay, so this is going to act as well as reducing our fertilizer bill. So if our worm casts are able to add nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium into our soils naturally, we're going to have to apply less fertilizer and hopefully make our farm more profitable. Okay, so that's just an overview of the conditions that earthworms require and their overall benefits. Okay, and for more videos related to ag science, follow the page.